Do you ever feel like you're being a lesser version of yourself? There are many things that can make you want to shrink. Who you think you are is one of them, especially when one aspect of you contradicts another. That's what this episode is about. You're listening to Pure Light, where we explore how to become the highest version of yourself so that you feel worthy of your craziest dreams and confident in your power to make them happen. My name is Ailey. I'm a coach and a Kundalini yoga and meditation teacher. This is episode 55. So at one point, back when I was a full-time management consultant, I was on a project that had a need for a creative skill set. There was some kind of visual layout work to be done. And that was kind of unusual. Most of the work that we did was not considered to be creative. There was a lot of strategic thinking, but the artistic side of creative, not so much. There wasn't a lot of that. And when this was brought up at a team meeting and we were trying to figure out who was going to do this work, this one woman spoke up immediately. Her eyes went wide. She started shaking her head no. And the words, "I'm not creative," came out of her mouth. And all of this happened in an instant. Her response was so automatic or so fast that it seemed like she thought that this was just a fact. And I could relate. I felt the same way. I thought it was a fact that I was not creative. And for me, a big part of it was that I had gone through engineering. And I allowed that to define me. So I no longer entertained the aspects of myself that didn't fit that image, that were inconsistent with what I thought an engineer was supposed to be. So anything that wasn't logical or analytical, because those are the qualities of an engineer. So I never entertained the possibility of doing things that were outside of those parameters. And it wasn't that I had never displayed any qualities that were the opposite of logical. I mean, we all do creative things as kids, like with painting and sculpture and whatever else. But it's almost like I forgot that those parts of me existed. The only thing preventing you from being everything you are is the idea or the belief that you can't be. And this often happens when one aspect of who we think we are contradicts with another, when they're opposites. So we just assume or forget or even reject that part of ourselves. Like we try to push it away or hide it or pretend it isn't there because it doesn't seem to fit with the rest of who we are. So for example, I'm analytical, so I can't be creative. I believe in science, so I can't believe in God. I'm fun, so I can't be serious. I'm a positive person, so I can't say something that's negative. I can't let people see that I'm weak because I'm usually strong. Or I can't be a bitch because I'm a nice person. Basically any version of I am this, so I can't be that. And you can flip these around too, because the opposites are also true. For example, I'm serious, so I can't be fun. So what are those pairs of opposites for you? What are those qualities that you don't allow yourself to be because they contradict with other ones that are aspects of your identity? And how can you embrace both of those qualities within yourself? When you have a preconceived idea of who you're supposed to be, and you only allow yourself to show up in a way that aligns with that, it prevents you from being all of who you are. Because you're limiting yourself and rejecting one part of you because it doesn't make sense with another part of you. You're basically saying, because I am this one thing or because I have this one quality, I can't possibly have this other one or be this other thing. Because those two things don't go together. But we all have every single quality within us. The extent to which we display each quality depends on a lot of things, like our individual circumstances and cultural conditioning. But more than that, it also depends on whether or not we give ourselves permission to show up fully. You stop shrinking when you stop hiding or rejecting parts of yourself and allow yourself to be all of who you are. Even when it doesn't make sense and it contradicts with another aspect of yourself. In The Path to Love, Deepak Chopra says, to be authentic, you have to be everything that you are, omitting nothing. Within everyone, there is light and shadow, good and evil, love and hate. The play of these opposites is what constantly moves life forward. If you can truly embrace these qualities within yourself, you will be authentic. Whenever you find yourself feeling conflicted about opposing qualities within yourself, instead of unconsciously assuming that you're either or, let yourself be both and. Give yourself permission to be all of who you are, even and especially when it doesn't make sense, even when you're a bundle of contradictions, because that's what makes you you and gives you that sense of magic that makes you different from everyone else on the planet. If you want to dig into this further, there are some previous episodes of Pure Light that I would suggest listening to. So if you have ever said to yourself, I can't do that, I'm not that kind of person, kind of like the woman in the story earlier, go back and listen to episode 5. In that episode, I talk about an experiment that I did to change a belief that I had about myself. And if you have ever been or become a lesser version of yourself because of your desire to fit in, go back and listen to episode 36. In that episode, I talk about what happens when you try to hide certain aspects of yourself in order to try to fit in. Find those episodes and more at purelightpodcast.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for Pure Light. Subscribe to get new episodes every week to help you fall in love with yourself and see everything in a new light. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time, may you be guided by your light.